Clinton Mayor Scott Maddasion with us this morning here on our FYI show. Going to be talking about a number of different things, and I guess we'll jump into it. Didn't talk what we were going to talk about, Scott, but we did baseball stadium lease. You mentioned this at the council meeting. Kind of been not an issue. We don't want to say that, but there's some work needs to get done because there's the lack of the major league affiliation. That was a clause in the lease somewhere. Somebody put that in probably a number of years ago, with good reason. Whenever it's done, for some reason, thought it was a good reason at the time. They accepted it. What's going on there to be able to continue to use that stadium and not cause a disruption if people were afraid the city was going to, step in?
Yeah, and it kind of baffles me a little bit why people were a little bit afraid, like you said, because we've been nothing but promoting baseball and ready to have baseball for the whole last year and a half or so. But yeah, the lease has the specific clause that says minor league affiliate or major league affiliate. I can't remember exactly what the wording is, but that right there kind of makes the lease void because we don't have that. So we just want to work up a new lease. We want to make sure that it works for both parties. Obviously, the citizens basically own the stadium, and we want to ensure that we still have baseball there for them, but we also want to make sure that we're really being diligent on the cost side of it because there are a lot of costs associated with the stadium, and we just want to ensure that it's protected and as an asset.
What's going to go in there? You mentioned you're talking about it. What's going to be different? What do you need to do different, you think? And you said you've been talking with the board of directors of the ball club, the Lumber Kings, for some time now. What kind of things are different? Since it's a different affiliation, a different league, are there going to be a lot of changes that the public will even see and the city will even notice? Not
really. There won't be a lot of changes. We've proposed a couple of different things. One, the city does this with other boards and commissions and places that we give money to, basically. We have a council representative that's on the board. Doesn't have to be a voting person. We do it with the Humane Society and the Chamber and the CRDC and the CVB and those places. So we'd like to have a representative on their board. Doesn't have to be a voting person, but we would like to have that on there. Just because taxpayer money is kind of going to support the stadium, we just want to ensure that we're monitoring our investment or the citizens' investment. That's one thing. We've kicked around a couple different ideas about some other stuff, but we haven't really hashed it out to a good time to be able to put that out there. But the ultimate thing is we want baseball here. I want baseball here. We're not going to stop baseball. We're not trying to steamroll anybody. We're not trying to chase anybody out. We're not trying to, tear the stadium down and build condos like one person asked me. We legitimately want baseball here. We want to be partners with the ball club, and we just want to ensure that there's a really good synergy between the two groups.
This isn't a profit center for the city, is it? You're not looking a profit center. You're not looking for the ball club to become a revenue source.
No, we don't want the ball club to be a
some
revenue
people
source.
Afraid of that you're looking to make it a revenue source.
I think they are, and that's not the case at all. If you think about it, we don't profit whatsoever. We own, it's an expense for the city. But what makes that expense okay is it is a very unique thing for our community to have that type of ball stadium and that type of ball team here in our town. So it's a good expense for us. We're not trying to recoup expense. We're not trying to, make a profit. We don't want a cut of the concessions. We don't want a cut of the hot dog sales. That's not on our radar. We just want to make sure that as we're budgeting and we're being diligent with taxpayer dollars, we are able to track and really know where that money's going and how it's being spent so that we can, answer to the citizens if that question comes up.
Oh, we use the parking lot there as maybe the segue to another topic, environmental issues. You mentioned something that you want to talk a little bit about that. You put in that permeable paver parking lot there at the ballpark. You got one going in at the swimming pool. Those are a couple things, but the city's kind of stepping up, looking at some other issues in this, I guess, on the big arena of environmental.
Yeah. We've had some discussions, myself and Matt, the city administrator, and the council, where we want to try to move to more environmentally sustainable things. The permeable pavers is a really good example of that. It helps with the drainage and it helps with a lot of different things on the eco side. But we're looking at different things to kind of help ramp that up as well. The one thing we started is the weekly recycling on the Tuesday and Thursday routes. We've been doing that for a little over a month now. The Tuesday route is up 31% recycling. The Thursday route is up 22%. So we have a net 26% increase on those 2 days for recycling, which is absolutely awesome. We're looking at putting some electric charging stations around town for electric cars. I know there's not a lot of them in Clinton at the moment, but we also want those people that have those cars to be able to come visit Clinton, have a spot to charge, and then head back where they came from. We've got a really, really cool initiative with, sorry, I'm losing my voice. My allergies are really getting me here.
That time of year.
Yeah. We have an initiative with Lyondell-Basell. They donated $6,500 to Clinton for it's a water fountain that has a refillable station for plastic bottles so that people aren't throwing plastic bottles away. You can refill it. So we're going to get that down on Riverfront. We took the initiative to buy 9 more of those. And the cool thing is LK Manufacturing up in Savannah actually makes these. So it's kind of a community partnership. We're going to replace a lot of places around town with those bottle fillers so that we're promoting, refilling the bottle, not throwing the plastic away and hurting the environment. And then just to mention our cleanup day that we had in April, we had about 50 or 60 people show up, help cleaning up the riverfront. We filled 27 or 28 of the green trash carts with trash from the riverfront and debris that was taken out to the landfill, and then what was recycled that could be. So
imagine those charging stations. Scott, go back that. Some nights that you put those up, you mentioned the electric cars are coming. There's more and more of them. But as part of that, to maybe a little symbolism that the city has those out there, even if you don't have a lot of people using them, that, hey, we're on top of things. We've got these available. There's a little bit of that, I guess, symbolism is maybe the best word, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. It shows that the city and the council has the right mindset moving into the future, because we do need to be cognizant of our environment as we're going forward. You see all the reports online, and who can you believe, who can't you believe? But I think at the end of the day, despite all the conflicting data, we need to be cognizant of our environment, and this is one of those things. And I was talking to a friend of mine who works for Tesla, and he was telling me that a lot of these Tesla cars have a wild card thing in them, and you hit it and it kind of scans through and it takes you to a place where there's a Tesla charging station. So Clinton will be on that map then if we can get one of those stations put in. So it'd be kind of neat.
Again, that it may generate a little interest, and who knows, somebody, if they know they can come here and charge their electric car, maybe they'll come visit. That's and if they can't charge their car, they'll go to the next spot.
Yeah, they'll go to Davenport or somewhere else. So it just, if we can get them into town and we can get them to our riverfront, and we can get them to fall in love with the community, you never know what that will bring for, tourism. And with this whole idea of working remotely, you never know, we may be able to get some people from big cities to live here because, hey, I don't have to work in downtown Chicago. I can be here. This place was awesome when I came through. So just another way to try to attract people to our community.
You mentioned that in some cities, the city looking at any discussions behind the scenes, give us a little insight on things like that. Of you see in some states and communities actually putting incentives in place to encourage people to move, knowing they don't have to live where they work anymore, right. That they can do that. And you've seen cities, counties, states put together ideas. Say, hey, you'll get discounts, this or that. Some think it's even just a basically a cash bonus type thing. Any behind the scenes talk in City Hall you can let us in on? Is any talk about those types of incentives?
We haven't had a lot of discussions on things like that, but I'd like to. I think that would be nice. The first step really is the county's got to take the lead on the broadband to increase broadband throughout the county. And obviously Clinton's in the county, so it would count for here too. And we're working with iFiber, the city is, and a lot of other partners. So I really think that broadband piece is the first step to continuing those conversations or starting those conversations, because if you're going to work from home, you have to have a good connectivity. If you don't have that, then it's not a great place to be at. So I think really as we move through with the county and we do this broadband study and we start to get that connectivity throughout our entire county, we're going to be really, really attractive to those people that maybe want a little slower paced life and they can work from home and that kind of thing from the big city. So hopefully that will be a huge piece, and then we can continue to kind of compound on some incentives and maybe do some things like that to help along the way. Someone sent me the other day that there's a small place in Italy that will actually pay 50% of your rent if you move there and you work from home. You got to prove you have a job, you got to do all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if we'll be able to pay 50% of people's rent, but we might be able to think up something neat to incentivize people to move here.
You mentioned if I would put that down somewhere, we maybe need to talk a little more about that, because that's an interesting project, but it might take a little bit to explain what's going on.
Yeah.
Unless you can throw in a paragraph, because it's something different. I think it's coming from Illinois. They've got it there. This nonprofit, somehow they're bringing fiber internet. So
I can give you I can give you a little snapshot. And I think maybe next
I hadn't
month
planned on that one, but that's something that is not here yet. But they have the plans already outlined.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to maybe next month I'll bring a little more concrete information on it. But it's working with iFiber, who works with Northern Illinois University. They'll be bringing a fiber line across the North Bridge. Basically, it would come into town here. It would link up to where businesses and homes could get a direct fiber line to their house, which gives them other alternatives for broadband connectivity, and not just the one-stop shop with Mediacom or Miles Communication or Grand Mountain, or whoever they're going through. So it gives them that variation, that option, and then obviously with that dedicated fiber line, you're going to increase your speeds as well.
Yeah, put that on, because that is interesting. And again, people are now maybe more in tune to internet service. Maybe they had it, but whatever they had was good enough, and this and that. And now they're working at home. Their kids need it for school. It's just become a bigger and bigger issue. It
has, and in this day and age, technology is not going away. It's only going to increase, and we need to make sure that we're on the forefront of connectivity when it comes to broadband, because I truly believe if we're not, Clinton and Clinton County is going to get left behind, because other places are gonna move quicker. And right now, I'm happy to say we're the leader in the state right now as far as these types of conversations. And I know the governor put out a big bill to increase broadband, but I think we're really the only ones that are on the cutting edge with a group like iFiber and really trying to make things happen.
We'll talk about that next month.
Yeah.
And of course, attracting, streets. Everybody thinks the streets are horrible. The city's been working at it. We've got some projects. Third Street's kind of been a little funky here the last week or so, as they're doing some work there. 13th Avenue North is going to make it a little hard for me to get to and from work. And
that was our sole purpose.
You picked that project just for us here at the station. In fact, I told everybody here the other day, be prepared. You might have to drive around a little bit to get to and from work. But street projects and some small, some larger projects underway. I guess give us what's going on. What are some of the big ones and little ones that we need to watch for? So
I heard this yesterday. Someone was saying that in Iowa, there's two seasons. There's winter and there's construction season. I thought that was kind of funny because we're right in the middle of that. We're going to see a lot of projects going on. I mean, we Jason and his team have done an outstanding job over the last 5 or 6 years getting our roads, our pavement condition index up. And now we're going to see some big projects. 13th, I think, is the biggest project we're going to see this year. It's going to get reconstructed all the way from 4th Street out past the middle school there. You're going to see a turning lane going in at the middle school to help with traffic flow along there. The intersection by Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Fairway, and all that. Right now, the signals are a little funky how it works. Sometimes you're waiting in that middle lane and there's a green turn arrow, but you want to go straight. So the people behind you are honking at you, and we're going to fix that. We're going to get a dedicated turn lane there. We're going to fix the signals so they signal correctly and make that intersection a little more, I guess, a little more normal because it's a little different.
Driver friendly.
Driver friendly. That's a good way. Yeah. And then Springdale is going to get, and 13th is going to get completely reconstructed. It's going to be all new concrete, so they're ripping that whole thing out. It's not just getting an overlay. So that'll be big, and the traffic will still flow. There's going to be some detours. I think the neighborhood there on Springdale is probably going to see a little more traffic than they would like. We apologize, but sometimes inconvenience is progress, and I know it stinks, but that's just kind of the way we have to do it. So. Really, really going to be cool. And then there's some smaller streets that are going to be always on the list, and we'll be knocking those out as well as we move through the community.
In 13th, basically, it'll be turned to one of those 3-lane with the middle turn lane. So right. People have gotten maybe a little more used to that in some areas. 3rd Street up on Main Avenue will be that way as well once they kind of get it restriped and things. So people get used to that now. No roundabouts on that one yet.
No roundabouts.
Jason's promoting that, but not on that street.
I'm a fan of roundabouts too. I was in Dubuque for my sister-in-law's graduation from college a couple weekends ago, and I never have a problem. I like the roundabouts. You don't have to wait. You just kind of know when he's coming. You roll through. So we're going to see some of that in our community in the future, not in the near future, but down the road, next couple of years. But right now, a lot of people are talking about the kind of the road diet going down to the 2-lane with a turn lane thing. Let's give it a chance. It's gonna allow us to have a little more space to put a trail along 13th, so people can walk and bike and do that kind of thing. Because we see a lot of people walking in the grass along the road here. I'm sure you do, being here all the time, and it'll just it'll give us an opportunity to kind of connect that trail to other places in town as well.
You mentioned that's one of the trails that are seeking some money and grants that would include the trail on 13th and also.
Yeah.
In fact, the council considered kind of a trail plan. Is that Zach Pennock, this is, and he's kind of been one of the big promoters of trails.
Yeah.
Is that something the city needs to maybe pay a little more attention to? I know they put him in charge of seemingly in charge of trying to come up with some new trails to connect all parts of the city by trails.
Yes.
Is that a new thing?
I think quality of life is always extremely important. But as like we mentioned earlier, as we transition from working in bigger areas and working at home, that multimodal aspect and being able to run and bike and walk and do all those things, it just increases your quality of life in your area. If you think about, you drive on 19th or you drive down by the riverfront, you always see people running and walking and doing different things. And I think connecting different places in town by these trails is really going to help. Maybe they'll walk to the Dollar Tree or something instead of driving their car, which can in turn go back to that environmental sustainability thing, less emissions in the air and things like that. So I think it's just a huge quality of life piece, and I think it should be something that we always have on our radar because, quality of life is what really makes the community attractive. Someone finds a job here, they want to know what there is to do, and this is just one thing that helps us on that front.
Scott, I didn't get a chance to talk much, but maybe talk a little bit about social media.
Yeah.
That seems people are paying more and more attention to that. The city's working at that. You've got a firm the city's actually hired to help handle the social media. They're actually working with some other businesses here. They like their work so much. I know one or two that hired this company out of Dubuque. The city is using. How important is that for the city? Is the city using that more and more too?
Yes, that's been a huge goal of mine since I came on board. Was just transparency, and most people are on social media. And this is just a really direct way to get information to the citizens. So we try to put stuff, on the normal channels, the radio and things like that, which are still important. But the new generation coming up, they really pay attention to the social media. So we've been doing that quite a bit. Our numbers are pretty good. I pulled the one from March. We don't have the April report yet. On Facebook alone, we had nearly 55,000 impressions in the month of April. That's 55,000 different times that someone engaged with the page on whatever we posted, whether it was a news piece or a quality of life piece or whatever it is. So, that's absolutely crazy just to have 55,000 people see something, and then engagements, whether someone likes it or comments or does something like that. That was close to 1,000 in the 1 month. So I think we really are hitting our targets that we need to. We continually get more followers on the Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And I think it's just going to be an extremely important piece as we move forward. It also gives citizens a chance to engage. I like getting on Facebook and reading the comments on the KROS or the news or Clinton Herald articles or things like that, because what that does is it gives me a good idea of where the citizens stand on certain things. And that's important to me because we represent the citizens. So we really want to know where they're at, because that should kind of play a role in decision making and things like that. So I see social media as an invaluable asset for many, many different reasons.
Good thing to move into is, you're obviously a social media user. Some people aren't, but like anything else, I suppose the more the city is out there, the more followers you get, the more things happen, the more way you can distribute information. So you're actually hiring somebody to help, because if it's a job, if you're going to do it right.
Yeah.
Some people may not recognize that it takes a lot of time and effort.
Yeah, you literally could have a full-time person just managing these platforms and sitting there, and that's what they do all day. And I know a couple folks that have worked for professional sports teams, and all their job was like Twitter all day long. That's what they did, was send Twitter stuff out. So it just shows how important it is. In the city, it's nice to partner with this group because they got a strong team to be able to help us manage that. And if we need something on there right away, we send it to them, and within minutes they have it up and on there. And it's just a good partnership, and I think it's really helping us branch out in that communication channel.
Maybe we ought to throw this on every month. The city has their texting program as well to get some of the same information out directly if people don't want to do social media or don't, things like that. I did give you a heads up because there's a certain procedure to follow, certain numbers you have to use.
Yep.
You know what that is? So if somebody wants to get, because I don't, first I throw my bias. It says highlights to remind me which garbage week it is. Of course, I'm on the route that gets picked up for recycling week, but I always counted on that to tell me, is this recycling week or not? On Sunday, I'd get the message about recycling and
right.
things like that. Another factor is they've been using that for a while. He changed things over a little bit here a couple months ago, but they can sign up for those text alerts from the city as well. Another avenue of information. Yep,
and that number is on our website. I don't have it with me, and I always put an extra number on there, so I'm not going to confuse
Just look at the
people.
Website.
Yeah, look at the website, and we're not going to bombard you with text messages. I'm on it as well, and you may only get one a week. It may just be the recycling one. Or, if there's a special detour, maybe something happens and we got to detour traffic, we might send it out through there as well. Just a good way to get some information from the citizens if you're interested.
Get the website soon to be .gov, not .us as well. So get that changeover made.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're working with the people to get that finalized and going as well. We had a phone tag issue yesterday because they were trying to call me at City Hall, but I wasn't there, so I went down there, and then they didn't call, and then it was like, okay, we got to figure out a way to get this done.
Well, Mayor, anything else you want to throw in today? Did we miss anything?
I just wanted to mention we have some boards and commissions spots
Got
available.
a few empties?
Yeah, we're going to have historic preservation. We'll have 3 seats open this summer because people are going to expire off at their 12-year mark. So we have those. We have one on the ADA Advisory Commission, which is important for our community. We have a neighborhood improvement. We have one more, but yeah, they're all listed on the website. We're really looking for volunteers to. Zoning board of adjustments is the other one. So,
and to first ward council seat.
Yeah, we have a first ward council seat. Those applications are due 20th. For anybody that's interested in that, the city the council is looking to be a nominating committee like we have in the past for other ones. This person would fill the seat until November's. Is it the 2nd or 3rd this year for the elections?
Yeah, somewhere in
something like that, and then would fill the new term, I guess, for the next 4 years because the Ward 1 seat is actually up at the end of this year. So
one way that, and then check the website for more information.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming in today, Mayor.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're listening to AM 1340 KROS, Clinton, Iowa.
FM 105.9.
And KROSradio.com.
This is Radio Iowa. I'm Matt Kelly. Demand for COVID-19 vaccines is falling in Iowa, and this week only 2 of the state's 99 counties took their full allocations of doses. State Health Department Administrator Ken Sharp says most counties have largely stopped mass vaccination clinics.
And we're transitioning really to kind of focused, small, what we'll call micro clinics that are going into communities where they are, meeting people where they are. And we're seeing some very good progress.